Coming up now on your spoiler-free wrestling news rundown, we've got all the updates and the fallout from the Bullet Club angle on the Impact Wrestling No Surrender pay-per-view where Jay White turned on the Gorillas of Destiny. We've got contract updates on AJ Styles and also a health update on Jake the Snake Roberts. Subscribe to Spoiler-Free Wrestling for all your wrestling news with none of the spoilers. The fallout from Jay White turning on the Gorillas of Destiny at the Impact Wrestling No Surrender pay-per-view over the weekend continues. Numerous members of Bullet Club have reacted to the events that occurred on that show. Impact Wrestling posted a video with a backstage interview featuring Jay White, Chris Bay, and the Good Brothers. Now, they didn't say much during this interview, and there is a link to it in the show notes, but basically Jay White said that he was going to create the best version of Bullet Club across New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, and Impact. And also he mentioned that in a promo leading up to No Surrender, he said that it would be the best tag team in the history of Bullet Club that was going to walk away with the tag team titles, and we thought at the time he was referring to the Gorillas of Destiny. Turns out he was referring to Anderson and Gallows. So Tanga Loa has responded to the events from No Surrender on Twitter, and this was interesting. So in responding to a clip of Jay White giving Tama Tonga the Blade Runner, Tanga Loa said something that bears repeating. He said, "I don't understand. I do know that I'm tired of not knowing WTF is going on. I get it now." And then he tags EC3 and uses the hashtag control your narrative. Now, if you don't know what he's referring to here, EC3 and Braun Strowman have announced that they have started a new promotion. Now, EC3 did run 2 events under the name Free the Narrative or something along those lines. This is Control Your Narrative, CYN Wrestling. And he noted that they have a pending announcement about a television deal and that they will be filming matches for said TV deal on the March 31st show in Dallas. But they also have a show on March 5th in Orlando. So I don't know if Tanga Loa would be able to make the March 5th show in Orlando as he's booked on the New Japan Cup Tour, but possibly maybe there for the March 31st show in Dallas. Of course, that's WrestleMania weekend when there's lots of shows going on. So Tanga Loa appears to have some deal in the works with that new promotion. EC3 just responded to him writing knock, I guess meaning like, come talk to me? I don't know. He also got into it a little bit with Will Ospreay on Twitter. Ospreay was confused as to why certain wrestlers got first-round buys in the New Japan Cup and others didn't. I also have questions about that. But Tanga Loa responded to Will Ospreay simply saying, "It could be because you went home for most of 2021. And Ospreay responded with, "Don't be mad at me because Jay chose the Bucks." And Tanga Loa had an interesting response to this as well. He said, "It's apparent you're offended that I answered a simple question you posed, Will. But you are who are you, dumbass?" Things got a little messy in there. "In the matters concerning Jay, I wish him the best." Does Tanga Loa really wish Jay White all the best? After he gave a Blade Runner to Tama Tonga and cost them the tag team titles? He wishes him the best? I don't know. Something interesting is going on there. Tama Tonga responded to Carl Anderson on Twitter. Remember, Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson are 2 of the founding members of Bullet Club. There's been a lot of comments about how can you kick out Tama Tonga? He's a founding member of the faction. Of course, Carl Anderson is as well. So unfollowed on every platform. Tama Tonga also sent something out saying, "No, I'm not leaving New Japan. Revenge first on everyone." And there was also some tension brewing between Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo on a recent show for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They seem to get into some sort of disagreement about how their match went. And so there was definitely some tension teased. And while they seemed to get along fine eventually, there was some tension teased there. Another thing of note regarding this rivalry is that Tama Tonga and Tangaloa are booked to be in the New Japan Cup. They're going to be in Japan next month, whereas Jay White won't be. Jay White's going to continue his US of J tour, and he's actually booked on the next Impact Wrestling pay-per-view on Sacrifice. He's going to take on Alex Shelley. Also, just wanted to give a shout out to this person here in the chat who pointed out that at the New Japan Pro Wrestling show, which took place just hours after the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view, the members of Bullet Club reacted like they had no idea what was going on. They have no idea why Jay White did what he did. Jado came over to the announce table and expressed that he had no idea. He was as perplexed as anyone as to why Jay White did what he did. This brings up something very interesting because, as we mentioned, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa are in the New Japan Cup. They're headed back to Japan. Jay White and everyone in the sort of American side of Bullet Club is remaining in the United States. So what's going to happen with the Gorillas of Destiny and the other members of Bullet Club when they get to Japan? And I wonder if we don't have two different factions within Bullet Club forming here. We're just going to have to wait and see how everything shakes out. But there's a lot of excitement around this angle from a lot of people. And while we were talking about former members of Bullet Club, AJ Styles signed a new deal with WWE. This was reported by Fightful that he has signed on for in excess of $3 million per year, and he signed on for another 3 years. So that means he will be almost 47 years old the next time he is a free agent again. And also in keeping with former Bullet Club members, founding member of Bullet Club Prince Devitt, now known as Finn Balor, he's booked in to face Damian Priest for a United States title shot next week on Raw. In keeping with WWE, it was reported this week by PW Insider that Drake Maverick, who has been released by WWE twice now, is once again working with the company, this time in a creative role. He is apparently working behind the scenes for the Raw creative team and started about 3 to 4 weeks ago. Jake the Snake Roberts gave an update on his health recently on the podcast that he does with Diamond Dallas Page. So Roberts noted that he has been dealing with some lung diseases that were passed on to him by his mother, he says. He also smoked cigarettes since he was 17 and so has COPD and emphysema. However, he said thanks to treatment, today he feels great and does not have to use an oxygen tank at all, except for when he's on airplanes. So he is also back accompanying Lance Archer. The National Wrestling Alliance has announced the brackets for the 2022 Crockett Cup. So they're bringing the tournament back. They last held it in 2019, but before then, it hadn't been held since 1988. It ran for 3 years in the 1980s, and the National Wrestling Alliance bringing it back again for this year. So it's a 16-team single elimination tournament, and here are the brackets. So the current NWA Tag Champs, La Rebellion, they're going to take on a team who wins a play-in match. The End, Pero and Odinson, they're going to take on Hawks Ari, PJ and Luke. That's a father and son team. Strictly Business, Tom Latimer and Chris Adonis are going to take on the Gold Rush team of Jordan Clearwater and Marche Rocket. British Invasion, Doug Williams, and to be announced, because it's not going to be Nick Aldis, they're going to take on 2 members of the Ill Begotten. The OGK, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, they're going to take on the Fixers, Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky. DePope and Mims will team up to take on Mike Knox and VSK. Aaron Stevens and JR Kratos, they're former NWA Tag Team Champions. They're going to take on the Dirty Sexy Boys. That's JTG and Dirty Dango. And the Briscoes, Mark and Jay Briscoe, they're also in the tournament, but their first round match is to be announced. And finally, AEW Dynamite is from the Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut tonight. Here are the matches scheduled for the show. For the TBS Championship, Jade Cargill defends against the Bunny. The Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, will take on PENTA, El Zero, MIEDO, and Pac. There will be a tag team battle royal for one spot in the three-way tag team title match at Revolution. There will also be a segment where Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston come to face. And later in the night, taped for Rampage, airing on Friday night, Sammy Guevara will defend the TNT Championship against Andrade El Idolo. And that'll do it for this video, everyone. Want to please ask you to subscribe, click the like button, and share this video with anyone who you think would appreciate it. I'm Gentleman Ian for Spoiler Free Wrestling.